Elon Musk says he will step down as the chief executive of Twitter after finding a replacement. It comes after users decisively voted for his departure as CEO in an online poll, which he launched on Monday. Dr. Sarah Roberts is the faculty director of the Centre for Critical Internet Inquiry at the University of California, Los Angeles, and she joins us now. Thank you so much for staying up for us tonight. What's your read on this announcement?
Well, I think it must be taken with a grain of salt, as all of Musk's pronouncements must now. In the brief time that he has led Twitter as such, he has been quite inconsistent and mercurial in his decision making, and not seemingly particularly bothered about consistency with past statements. So I would take it that way, first and foremost.
What has been the impact of Musk's stewardship as CEO of Twitter so far on the business?
Yeah, I think it's important to look at other market indicators as we look at Twitter, which has, of course, now gone private, and it's difficult to really ascertain any data that we can count on from Twitter itself right now. But we can certainly look at other indicators like the tumbling, precipitous fall of Tesla stock, which closed on the American stock market today under $138 per share. It's something like a 60% loss since he took over as Twitter CEO. So obviously Tesla investors are very concerned about this bungled and bumbling leadership.
And so do you think that speaks to why he's made this decision to relinquish the CEO title?
Well, he certainly must be getting pressure from the many investors that helped him achieve the kind of credit he needed to purchase the $44 billion company that many people thought was quite overvalued, and we know he tried to get out of that purchase. So I imagine he's facing pressure there, but we have to also read between the lines of what he actually said. He said he would be stepping down as CEO, but he is, of course, still the owner of Twitter. I find it hard to believe that someone like Musk, with his personality, will relinquish control and the right to create a great deal of input, whomever the CEO ultimately becomes. Furthermore, he said he was going to stay on as something called the head of the server and software team. People in the tech industry, engineering, friends of mine, people who have been in the tech industry previously and adjacent to it, such as myself, we have no idea what Musk is talking about. There's no such thing inside of a company called that. It's not recognizable. It's just like when he asked people to print out code that he was going to supposedly review. These are very strange activities from a person that I think is really in over his head.
So more widely, how is Musk's business acumen regarded in the United States?
Well, I think he's become, as you can imagine, quite a polarizing figure. He has something of a cult of personality on Twitter itself, which is, I think, in great part why he wanted to take control of it. He finds a great deal of pleasure in tweeting and does so throughout the day, the course of the business day, I might add. There are other people, such as myself, who think that Musk is a bit of a charlatan, and we take issue with a lot of his statements. He seems to have fallen upward much of his life, beginning, of course, in apartheid-era South Africa in a family that owned an emerald mine. I think his approach to labor and employees and workers with regard to respect for them or lack thereof can be traced directly back to that lineage. So I'm certainly not a fan.
Musk was in Qatar alongside Jared Kushner for the World Cup final earlier this week. Is it clear whether he has specific political aspirations or allegiances?
Well, he may claim to be a sort of a both sides guy, but certainly his public statements and his donation behavior and just kind of like his reported bedfellows seem to tell another tale. At best, I would call him a cyber libertarian, somebody who believes in little to no governmental regulation, and we see where that leads us. I think another interesting thing to ask, though, is was he considering someone like Kushner to possibly come in and take over as CEO? Although I would question the wisdom of that choice, too, given Kushner's lack of a background in the tech industry or in social media.
And so just finally and briefly, if at all possible, do you expect that Musk's ownership of Twitter could have an impact on the next US presidential election?
Let's hope not.
Okay, Dr. Sarah Roberts from the UCLA Centre for Critical Internet Inquiry. Good to speak to you.
Thank you.